morning everyone. Welcome to my garden, and I wanted to share with you some exciting new plants that I was able to find at the nursery. I typically go to this one nursery that just sets up kind of like a pop-up, and I always get excited when they open up, and this was their opening weekend, and I was able to check out a few plants that they had in stock. They didn't have a lot of things yet, but regardless, whenever I go there, I always find things that I want to add to my garden. So that's what I did today. So the first plant that I want to share with you is a pinpoint blue false cypress. So I wasn't intending to actually buy something like this when I went there, but when I saw the foliage on this, I just loved it. Like, I've seen false cypress before, but I haven't seen this blue color, and I really liked it. As you can see, it's got a beautiful blue colored foliage. I don't know if you can tell with the sunshine, but it was just gorgeous. So this is a pinpoint blue cypress, false cypress by Proven Winners. It is, as you can see, the tag says it's a deer resistant shrub. Sorry, cypress. I don't know if it's a shrub, but it is the tag says that it can be planted in sun or part shade. It is hardy up to zone 5, so basically 5 to 7, so it needs up to -20 degrees Fahrenheit, and it'll get about 15 feet to 20 feet, 15 feet to 20 feet tall, and it'll be about 4 feet wide, 4 to 5 feet wide. So it's pretty narrow and compact, which I really liked about it, and it really only needs 6 to 10 foot of spacing around it. So it's awesome in that way, and it can be pruned in the spring, and it is pretty much a foliage plant. So you can either use it as a border plant, you can create a hedge or a border with it, or you could put it as a specimen, or put it in a container. So my plan is to actually put this in a container for some time and see how it does in there, and hopefully I can have it in a container for a few years before I put it in the ground somewhere in my garden. I'm not sure yet, but I want to keep it in a container. So that's my plan for it, and really it is, the description says that it would create a colorful year-round focal point to your landscape. It naturally grows as a narrow column of eye-catching feathery blue foliage. So I love that about it, and it's always nice to have something that's blue in your garden, because it really pops against all the dark greens that you have going, and that's exactly what I am going to use it for, is to put it in a container that I can pop in different spots if I need to, or if I want to move it around, I have the flexibility. So the main thing I want to do is I kind of want it to flank my entrance somewhere, so I will be using that. I would have picked up 2 of these, but I didn't want to get 2 because if I do have to plant this in the ground eventually, I just wanted to make sure I have the space for it when it's time. So I really didn't want to get 2 or commit to 2. If I love it, that I just want it to be one, and kind of create that focal point, and that with just the one of them, and I'll probably add something else in a container if I find that's evergreen, but this one definitely is going in a container for me. So this is the pinpoint blue false cypress by Proven Winners. And I'll walk over and show you some of the other plants that I got. So I got a couple of Kramers red spring Heath plants. In my previous video I shared with you that I planted a couple on the other side, and I felt like I'm not trying to create a symmetrical balance, but I felt like in this one particularly it would be nice to have 2 on either side, because it's going to be one of the first things that is going to bloom in this garden, and I want it to be almost like happening on both sides, especially because it's a walkway. So as I open my door, I'm going to see them on both sides, and I probably am going to look for it on the other side, and I'm not going to find it there. So I just happened to find them in this nursery as well, and I picked up 2 more of them. So so it is the Kramers Red Spring Heath. They love full sun, as the tag says, and basically they will get about 1 foot tall and 1 foot wide, so fairly low growing. And they do bloom in midwinter to mid-spring, and yeah, it is the foliage is basically stays dark green and has a little bronze, hints of bronze in it, and it flowers in early spring. And also it is hardy from zones 5 to 9, so really good plant. And for most times this stays evergreen, so the foliage remains evergreen, which is also nice to add it when you're adding things to the front of the garden. It looks nice when it is kind of you have that color and structure from the leaves. So excited to add this plant in my garden as well. And the next plant that I got was lavender. So this variety here is called Phenomenal Lavender. So this one is supposedly a very hardy variety. It can grow in sun or part shade. It is going to get full sun in my garden here. So this is a hybrid lavender, which is the largest growing lavender that's available. It's the most cold, heat and humidity tolerant variety, and its wide bushy plants produce deep lavender flowers in summer. So it's deer proof and it's very fragrant, which I really love because it is going to be flanking my entrance. So I love that about this one. So it can grow, like I said, in sun or part shade. It's going to bloom all summer, and hardiness zone is up to zone 5, so it's pretty hardy. I'm in zone 6, so I think this will do really well here. And from what I've also read is that a lot of its foliage stays pretty green all winter, which is another reason why I like this variety. It's got a nice bluish, silvery blue foliage, and it looks really nice and healthy. So I got 3 of these plants, and in a second I'll show you where I am planning to plant them, but I'll show you the other 2 plants that I got, and then I will share with you where I'm planning to put them. So this is a Heuchera, a classic Heuchera, and I really loved when I saw this black foliage in the garden center, and I was attracted to it right away. So this is the Black Pearl, Primo Black Pearl Heuchera by Proven Winners. So it likes light sun or shade, and basically it's got stunning black foliage for both shade and sun, so it is quite sun tolerant as well. It forms incredibly dense habit of shiny jet black leaves with scalloped ruffled edges and rosy purple undersides, topped with white flowers with pink calyxes. So it's going to get beautiful white flowers that's going to contrast really nicely against the foliage, and it's basically, it doesn't say when it flowers, but I would assume it would flower sometime in late spring. Yeah, it doesn't have that detail. Oh, here it is. So it gets 8 to 10 inches tall. It's going to be hardy up to zone 4 and 4 to 9, and it blooms in midsummer, so quite late in the season. But really, the Heucheras are just welcome in my garden for all the foliage. I mean, the blooms are a bonus, but look at this foliage. Isn't it beautiful? The underside is so dark and burgundy, and this black, and it contrasts really well against a lot of different plants in my garden. So I'm excited to plant this. I'm not too sure where I'm planting it yet. I will have to play around with these and see where they can go, but they can easily tuck in between any plants or structure. And it's hard for me right now because I don't have a lot of plants planted in my front garden, new beds. So I'll probably play around with it and maybe move them around if I don't like where I'm putting them. So I'll show you the last plant that I got, and then show you where I'm planning to put these. So the last plant that I got is also another Heuchera. So this one is called cherry truffles. I was torn between getting two of the same kind or trying two different ones, and I went with two different ones because what I find with Heucheras is they are fun, the colors are fun, and it's nice to try different ones, and they all kind of look good with each other. So my inclination is to kind of put them together so they play off of the colors of each other because they look really stunning together. So this is a cherry truffles Heuchera. Again, it has the same, it's also by proven winners, and it's the Dolce cherry truffles. So this one here, let me focus in, has beautiful bright red, heavily ruffled leaves for low mounding habit. In summer, the color matures to a rich mahogany red, light pink flowers. So it has really pretty light pink flowers, which I think will contrast really nicely against the burgundy leaves. And it's perfect in sun or shade. So I love that I can grow it in the sun. And also it's hardy up to zone 4 to 9, and it's early to midsummer. So slightly earlier than the other variety in flowering. So isn't this pretty? Like, look at the leaves of this one. And this one already has some flower spikes. I think it's because it's from the nursery. It's way ahead of where a normal Heuchera would be at this time if it was planted in your ground, especially in zone 6, because spring hasn't really broken here fully. So it's still very early. It's mid-April. So so I never go by the habit of the plants that I'm planting the first season because they behave very differently once they are in your ground and they grow from your own soil and your own seasonal timing. So keep that in mind when you're buying a fresh plant from the nursery. Its habit is going to be very different in the first season as opposed to when it breaks from your ground the next season. So again, so very excited to get these plants in my garden today and visit this beautiful garden center. And I'm really excited to get these plants in the ground. Oh, I have two more plants. I completely forgot about them. They are some daylilies that I found by proven winners as well in that same garden center. So this one here is called Rainbow Rhythm. So this is the Tiger Swirl Rainbow Rhythm Daylily. I already have two of these in my garden, and I bought another one because I absolutely love this flower. This photo here doesn't do justice to this plant because when this lily blooms, it is huge and it's bright and it's vibrant. That's what I love about this one. So it has a huge 6.5-inch triangular shaped flowers that are light yellow with a pronounced raspberry red eye. The bottom sepals are smooth, often twisting or curling into a swirling motion. So I love that about this one. And let me see if there are stats at the bottom here. So this one will get about 32 inches tall, 18 to 24 inches wide, and it's going to need full to part sun, and it's hardy from zones 3 to 9, so extremely hardy. So these are fairly tall, about 3 feet. So really excited to add this to the garden. I already have this one, so I can vouch for how beautiful this is. But there's one other variety that I don't have that I wanted to add, and I bought and I found it there, is this beautiful one called Ruby Spider. So Ruby Spider is an incredible daylily, must have for your sunny landscape. It's gigantic ruby red blossoms measure up to 9 inches across, so considerably bigger in size than the Tiger Swirl. And I already told you Tiger Swirl is phenomenal, it's huge. So this one is even going to be even bigger, which is so exciting. The long petals open wide to display radiating gold yellow throat. This is a taller daylily that works best in the middle to back of the border where it's sure to make a visual impact. So it's much taller than the other one. So it's going to be about 34 inches tall, similar in width, 18 to 24 inches wide, full to part sun, and it blooms early summer, zones 3 to 9. This one also I think blooms midsummer. So So it's nice because this one will bloom first, and then the tiger swirl will bloom. So it's exciting. Look at the picture. It's beautiful, stunning, stunning, stunning lily. I can't wait. So yeah, so these are all the plants that I purchased today, and I'm excited to share them with you. I think this video has already become quite long, so I will post a second video when I'm planting them, but for now I wanted to share with you these beautiful plants that I bought today, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do give me a thumbs up if you liked watching this video, and if you have these plants in your garden, please let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, my name is Preeti and I garden here in zone 6, and I talk about plants and all things gardening. And do join me and my gardening community by clicking on the subscribe channel if you wish, and hit the bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. I try to post every week something from my garden, and as my spring weather is going to break, I will be posting weekly garden walkabouts and show you some of my plants as the season progresses. So thank you everyone for watching, and have a fabulous day.